This is Patriots Playbook.
Is it my turn to talk now?
Here's your host of Patriots Playbook, John Rook.
Bad ass.
The legend.
Yeah, baby. We welcome you into the playbook. Is my microphone on, Matt? Okay, good. I just want to make sure. Having a hard time hearing. We're in the new studio here. Oh, there it goes. Hey, look at this. This is pretty in here, huh? Wow, I'm really impressed by this. You did a good job.
I built it all myself.
I was about to say, did you build this all by yourself?
Oh, this is Mystic Engineers.
The Mystic Engineer. Well, should we give them credit then? Mystic Engineer?
I think they did a great job.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah. So if you're watching the stream on Patriots.com, then you can see that we've actually got some new digs in here. And it's interesting. We're kind of squeezed into one corner of the studio. And the lights are pretty damn bright. That's all I can tell you right now. But it's all good. We have to work out all the bugs in here, right? And I'm sure we will. But who complained first? Was it Fred or was it Paul? It was Paul, right?
Didn't want the chairs, wanted the desk.
Wanted the desk.
It's okay. He's got used to the chairs by now.
Okay. All right. Okay. I kind of like the desk a little lower than the old desk, though. You know, because I always felt like I was getting up in my high chair.
Well, that was, for old listeners, the old desk was so high for Andy to feel tall.
That's why they built it like that, right? Because Andy's
high chair.
Yeah, high chair. Got it. Okay, I got it. So anyway, pretty cool stuff in here. We welcome you to the playbook. It's our training camp edition. Today is the first day of NFL training camp, which is really cool. So we're glad that the schedule worked out that we could be able to do the show today on day one of training camp. We're going to get to a lot of different stuff. You're streaming at home, and you're probably figuring, hey, I got some nice-looking young people in the studio with me. And we mentioned this last month. We'll mention it again here. But our July show is traditionally part of our sports broadcasting pre-college program at Dean College. And I have 16 wannabe Kevin Harlan's, Mark Jones's, I don't know, Adelina.
John Rooks.
Not John Rooks. No. They don't want to. They want to make more money than John Rook. Trust me on that one, right? Aaron Andrews is right.
Yes.
People like that. Okay,
yes.
So that's kind of where we are with that. But I'll introduce everybody here in just a moment. But the idea of the show today, because these guys covered camp today. All right, so everybody covered camp. Everybody had a specific assignment in order to be able to cover camp today, and so they're going to bring you their thoughts, their research, their opinions, and we want you to also join the show. So somebody says something you agree with, don't agree with, want to argue with, get into a little fisticuffs with, all right, well, you'll have to deal with Chase over here first. And Chase is a football player, so he'll probably, I don't know. Will you leg whip them? What would you do? Bench press them? What would you
I'll tackle them.
Tackle them. Okay, I like that one. That one works. But you're welcome to do that. 855-PATS-500, the toll-free telephone number, 855-PATS-500. You can also get a hold of us on the program the regular ways that we always have open. Web radio at patriots.com. The email address, you can hit up my X address, at JR Broadcaster on X, and you can also hit my Facebook page at john.rook if you want to do that and file your questions that way. All right, so let me introduce everybody here from my left to right so you can understand who's yapping at you today. Chase Stevens is actually going to be an incoming freshman at Dean College and will be on the football team this fall. So, Chase, welcome. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What do you think of our new studio?
I think it's beautiful. Everything in here is just amazing.
Yep.
The desks, the seats.
Yeah.
Everything is here. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
and you don't have to feel like you're getting up a high chair, so that's really good. I think we can all appreciate that. Daniel Piasecki.
Yep.
Daniel is. Are you also coming into? Are you a senior, or are you going to be a freshman?
So I'm going to my junior year.
Junior
in high
year.
school. Yes.
Okay,
Junior
and
year
where
in high
you
school.
and where do you live?
So I live in Randolph, Vermont, which is near the capital, Montpelier, about 35 minutes south. And yeah.
Didn't realize we were getting a geography lesson today. That's good. Okay. So, Daniel, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yep.
To my immediate right is Jack Grasek. Did I pronounce it right?
Grasic.
It's Grasic. Okay, I already screwed it up. Okay, well, that's okay. That's one today.
Close to the mics, everybody.
Yeah. So, Jack Grasic, thank you. What year are you in school?
Going into my senior year.
Going into your senior year, and you are from?
Rye. High
New
school.
York. Okay, Rye, New York. Are you a Jets fan? Giants fan?
Giants fan.
Giants fan. Okay. I can almost accept that. I mean, there are a lot of Patriots fans that will hate the Giants forever because they ruined, 17-0. But at the same time, the Patriots have more championships than the Giants do. So I guess you have to look at the big picture, right?
Well, something happened in 2010 in the Super Bowl.
What happened in 2010?
I don't know. It might have been Giants Patriots.
Oh, okay. Well, that's just one. That's just one. Although the Giants are undefeated against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I guess we should mention that. Adelina Aubin is the young lady on our first panel here today, and she is a senior and goes to Mount St. Charles Academy in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I mentioned Aaron Andrews because I think you said when we got started a couple of days ago that that's the kind of job that you'd like to have. Is that still right?
Yes, that's right.
But tell me why.
I like being in front of a camera. I like sports. I think it's interesting. You get to tell an athlete's story through reporting and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that'll work. That would definitely work. She's good looking enough to be on camera, don't you think, guys? Yeah, absolutely. That helps. Okay, you can't be an ogre with big warts on your nose. That's not going to work. No one wants to look at that. They don't want to look at me. I think this is the worst decision this program ever made by putting it, the television stream on Patriots.com. But I didn't have any say so because Fred made me do it. So that's just kind of the way we roll here. All right, so I've got Adelina, I got Jack, I've got Daniel, I've got Chase here. They're the first of 4 groups that will actually be with us here on the program today. We have 4 major topics of discussion that we're going to get to today. And I mentioned this when I put the show out on social media earlier today, because right now, let me start this way. What were your overall impressions of day 1 at practice today? What you saw out there? We didn't see a whole lot of exact stuff. We saw a lot of drill work, right? Mm-hmm. We saw a lot of kind of going through the motions. There was a little bit of 7-on-7. There was a little bit of 11-on-11. There was no hitting because nobody had on full pads today, and full pad practice isn't going to start really for another week or so. So what were just your overall impressions of kind of taking it in?
Well, first I want to say all the guys, when we met them, they were very nice too.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And then I felt like that there was lots of competitive energy there also at the camp too. I could tell that many people are like gunning for some spots. And I think that there were good vibes all around, and I think that it will be I think it was a good start for the first day of training camp.
Good vibes all the way around. I guess we need to play a little Beach Boys in here. Good vibe. Okay. Chase, what did you think day 1?
I think it improved a lot. I think Jalen Reagor is really a great wide receiver for the Patriots. I saw him catch so much crazy passes by Drake May and Jacoby Brissett. I feel like the whole receiver core could really be great for this new Patriots team, new offense. I feel like the defense is really good. We saw some breakups in the passes, some D-line rushing the passer too.
Mm-hmm.
It looked really good. The O-line looked pretty good too. I think it's going to be a great season for the Patriots.
Okay, well, that's a pretty thorough recap. I would agree with you as far as the receivers are concerned. I honestly, I'm excited to see some of those young guys. I want to see, Polk especially, since he torched my alma mater in the national semifinal last January. But I'm hoping whoever ends up being the quarterback by midseason and beyond, if they end up, going that route, I'm hoping that they find the go-to answer out of the guys that they have on the roster. Jack, what did you think overall day 1 of practice?
It's just similar to what Chase said about the receiving core. Drake May had a few really nice connections with especially Osborne and Javon Baker throwing really deep. Sometimes he was just contested in the pocket, got out and made his pass and ran.
Okay. Adelina, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I kind of agree with
Whomever?
yeah, what Daniel said. Sorry, I forgot his name for a second. What Daniel said. Everyone was very nice when we were talking to them after. When they were giving out signatures, they were all really extremely nice, and they all seemed to be in really good spirits after camp and stuff like that. So I think going into that, having that attitude is really good for a starting point for them.
It's probably not a surprise that, they would have good attitudes going in. This is day 1. They haven't had to sweat, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's popped them in the mouth yet. No coach has really yelled at them yet.
Yeah.
So, day 1 of camp is like day 1 of kindergarten as far as I'm concerned. It's hey, let's everybody make nice and play. You know, blocks are over there, crayons are over there. I mean, that's kind of how the first day of camp really goes. But we'll find out more once they put on the pads and things start popping, and that won't happen until probably next week, by around midweek next week, or I think day off next week is Wednesday, so probably by Thursday next week, another week, and then we'll see, this get a little bit more physical. All right, so the question that we had for you guys, and to me, this is almost the number one question overall for the Patriots going into the new season, going into training camp, this being day one today. And I know that this is front of mind for almost every fan that follows this team because other than having a new coach and Coach Belichick moving on and Gerard Mayo and his staff coming in new, is the first time that there's been this kind of a changeover in the staff in more than well over 20 years. There's another new quarterback that they hope that they will find a way to come in and be, maybe even half as successful as a guy named Tom Brady was. So the first question of the day really has to do with the quarterbacks on this roster, but more specifically, Brissett versus May at the quarterback position. And I just kind of like to know what you guys think, because I know we all know, and I think even the players know, and I think Jacoby Brissett knows, he knows when he was brought in here, that the job may be his right now, but they drafted Drake May for a reason. They drafted him to be the future of the franchise, the future face of the franchise, the future, TB12 of the franchise, whatever you want to call it. So that's what they did. And I'm curious to know what you guys think, what the pros and the cons are of starting the rookie over the veteran at quarterback. What's good about it? What's bad about it? What should the Patriots do? Do you have an opinion one way or the other? Gerard Mayo went out of his way when the team reported on Tuesday to say that Brissett was his starter. Brissett is his starter. So we'll assume, sometimes it's difficult when you assume, so you got to watch that, but we'll assume that the job is open for competition, right? And that, the rookie can work his way in. Or maybe, I don't know, am I leaving out, Bailey Zappi? Am I leaving out, Joe Milton? I mean, I'm leaving these guys out of the competition here, although clearly one of them is going to stick simply because of the way the roster breaks down, and you can never have too many. So let's start with, Brissett versus May and see how these other guys kind of fit in. What were your impressions of what you saw of the two guys today? Adelina, I'll start with you.
I would say that Brissett, I think he already knows that when they drafted May, that he would probably be a leader to him. So he would kind of just follow in, he's a veteran, so he's going to guide him in the background of it and stuff like that. And I think Patriots having a very young receiver as their, receiver, that I think that starting a new quarterback can help them, grow, and that Brissett will help him as well with that.
Okay, all right. Who wants to jump in on this? All right, Chase, go.
What's called when you put a young quarterback out there without any help, you need look at Zach Wilson at the Jets.
Yep.
He did not have any help for the first year.
Yep.
He just got thrown into there. That's why he didn't do that good. Second year, when they got Aaron Rodgers, right? He got injured the first game, so he couldn't really develop.
Yeah, we still don't know where Aaron Rodgers is going to go, right? Until we actually see him out there in the field, right?
Yeah, so he couldn't really develop Zach Wilson as good as he could have been. That's why I feel like they should really just put in Jacoby Brissett for the first half of the year. Let Drake May put in the next half of the year and see how good he could do with the Patriots in their new offense.
Okay, all right. Danny, you want to jump in on this too, and let me know what you think about the advantages of taking a guy like Drake May and throwing him in the fire early. Is there such a thing?
Yeah. I kind of also wanted to add on to what Chase said about then giving May maybe some experience to see what it's like, just maybe on the bench for a couple games, just to see. Because obviously NFL experience is a lot different from college. So I think that him having a couple games just to see what the defense is like, reading that maybe from the bench, seeing on his tablet and stuff, just and then with help from Brissett, And but then to answer your question about what would be good about him maybe being thrown into the fire is I mean, remember what you were telling us about getting reps of being an announcer? Him getting reps as quarterback in this level would be, I mean, great.
Yeah,
So,
see, I to me that's the key here
Yeah.
because and you guys know this. I've preached this over the last few days since we started your camp experience, so to speak. But I just think, I mean, I learned to swim, guys, when I was 5 years old, and the teacher threw me into the deep end of the pool.
They did that to me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I mean, I learned just and he basically said swim. And so I had to learn to claw my way back up. I think there's something to be said for that. Now, was he going to let me drown? No. There's someone hovering over you. And so to me, Jacoby Brissett is the kind of guy who's hovering over. He's going to catch the rookie if he starts drowning. And I think the coaching staff would do that. Obviously, Alex Van Pelt, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, he's going to do that if they see the rookie having trouble. But if you're going to expend the number 3 pick of the draft on a quarterback, you have to know that he's got to be your guy. You think enough of the player to take him that high, he has to be your guy. Why are we going to, baby him? I'm of the opinion we need to see what he can do pretty quickly. Now, if we find out very quickly that he's over his head, we can make that adjustment. I also understand the other side of it because you don't want to risk. Okay, and I guess this will probably be a familiar euphemism over the next few weeks and months, but we don't want to pull a Mac Jones here.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
we don't want to
Have rookie mistakes.
yeah, and we don't want to be able to ruin the guy, and give him wrong direction. And I'm not sure May is that kind of guy, but let's face it, the coaches really are to blame for, Mac Jones's experience here. I don't really blame Mac, even though he's a different quarterback. And I know that we shouldn't even be probably mentioning his name when we're on the show, but I'm doing it in reference because nobody wants Drake May to turn out similarly. I don't think he's going to. Number one, let's remember that Drake May was selected higher in the draft, relatively speaking to where Mac Jones was taken, even though they were both still first rounders. Different set of circumstances, different head coach, different offensive coordinator, so it's a lot different. But to me, I think more than just throwing in 7 and 7s and 11. We need to see some. When the pads pop, I want to see what he's doing. I want to see what he's capable of. Now, the entire issue with this also hinges, I believe, on the offensive line in front of him, whether or not they can, protect for, naturally for him anyway. Jack, I'm wondering if what you see and what you've studied on both of these guys going in, if you see anything other than Drake should start, what about Jacoby in particular? And do you go along with the kind of the thought process here, bringing the rookie along more slowly, or would you like to see him thrown into the fire?
Well, I feel like kind of exactly what you said about it's problematic. We don't want to have a Mac Jones situation. I feel like this team shouldn't be rushing anybody like they rushed Mac Jones, and he can develop on the bench. I mean, this team isn't trying to win the Super Bowl this year, and they're probably not going to try and do that for the next 2-3 years maybe. So now is the time where you have a few years. Let's be patient. Let's let him develop on the bench, then throw him out there, right? And then have Brissett for when something happens.
What if we throw him out there, guys, and he fails miserably? I mean, what happens then? Because then you have no backtrack. Okay, now what do we do? Do you go back to Jacoby? Do you have to go back to the draft? Do you let your third quarterback, whoever wins that job, do you let them come in and take a shot at it? And we're really kind of right back to where we were a year ago and more. 2 years ago even. And I'm just wondering if that really serves a purpose at all. What do you think?
I feel like if he fails, you gotta give him more time to develop. That's the point of developing players, because like if they fail, you have that veteran leadership to get him better and better. With Jacoby Brissett there, if he starts failing, you can put Jacoby back in because he has that veteran experience, so he knows what it's like to like fail, to be in the back. So like he could teach him all about like what to do in the offense, what to do when there's pressure on you, how to throw it deep, all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just to add on to what Chase was saying, I think I think that sometimes people try to just like focus on perfection. And then, for an example, last year you saw a rookie quarterback for the Texans, C.J. Stroud. He comes in as a rookie and he has an outstanding year, in my opinion. But I think that like not everyone's gonna have that as a rookie. You know, you kind of have to, like we've been saying, give time for them to ease into the situation because everyone's situation is different. So I think that when May also gets used to, I mean, like his receivers, his running backs, his linemen, and I mean then also the defenses in college are a lot different than in the NFL. In the NFL, there's like tight, like not as much space. So I think that when May gets used to that, I think will be good for him. And then also Brissett will definitely be helping him with reads and stuff and just being an NFL quarterback.
How does this, and that's, anybody can answer this, but how does this scenario as it's playing out help or hurt the team? The guys that have to rally around whoever is under center, whoever is the quarterback, and whoever wins this battle. Is Jacoby just babysitting the job until Drake, can get rid of the training pants and move up into it? How does that affect the team?
I think it's really good for the team because Jacoby Brissett is a really good quarterback. You saw him as a coach a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Even at the Commanders last year, he got him 2 times, and he was really good. So I feel like whatever route they want to go, I think it's a really good route. Drake May, put him at start. Jacoby Brissett, you can start him. They're both good. It doesn't matter which.
So it shouldn't matter at all to the team. Anybody differ with that?
I feel like Brissett has more experience with game experience with the NFL.
Yeah.
He just got out of college.
Yeah.
So he's not really used to the game speed or the defensive schemes or anything that goes on in the game. So I feel like he would have to sit the bench for a couple games and have Brissett start before he jumps in and sees how the game is played and what he needs to do and learn those schemes and stuff like that.
But let me ask you this. Let's say Drake comes in and just rips it apart for the rest of training camp here. Maybe he has a particularly good exhibition game, that's coming up here. Or, when the Eagles come in, and they're expected to be a Super Bowl contender in the NFC this year, when they come in and they do the joint practices in a couple of weeks, and Drake shines, right? Mm-hmm. Do you still think Jacoby should, start the first couple of games that count and continue to bring him along? Or do you try to ride some of the momentum that the rookie quarterback may have built up for himself and put him out there? I'm just curious how you guys feel, because to me, I'm always one that likes to play the hot hand.
Yeah.
It's a baseball analogy, but look, if the guy is 4 for his last 6 at the plate with 3 knocks, I'm guess what, dude? You're in the lineup today. You're not taking a day off. That's how I kind of look at it. I want him in there and playing. Now, the other side of that is that, well, okay, you're putting your star, you're putting your future hope at risk in a game that might be meaningless until the regular season starts, and then they're going to kind of, they'll start to count. So just kind of curious how you balance the two, and is there a right way to handle this?
I'm not sure. I think.
At least that's an honest answer. That's an honest
Yeah.
answer.
Well, I
Good,
mean,
Drake.
he hasn't played an NFL game yet.
Yeah.
So having the critique of, these are reps, but these he could also get injured. It's like, no, he needs the reps. You could say any game he would get injured. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we missing here about this whole quarterback derby? This is what everybody wants to talk about. We know that, hey, when we talked about this in our class yesterday, when I brought this topic up, you guys were happy. The rest of the class was like, oh, man, they got the quarterback. Okay. Because that's what everybody wants to talk about. I understand that from a fan's perspective. Yeah, sure, this is the future of this team. Everybody is so anxious to see, Patriots fans anyway. The rest of the NFL is kind of like, oh, God, go away.
They're back, yeah.
But I'm waiting for that moment.
Yeah.
Waiting for that moment when, media can say, hey, maybe the Patriots are back a little bit quicker than normal. What's the best way to get there? This is it's an overwhelming story. You clearly don't think it will harm the team one way or the other, because the team is going to be, hey, whoever's out there, we're going to rally around, which is a good veteran way, an experienced way to look at it. I'm kind of fishing for negatives here, for lack of a better phrase.
Yeah. I mean, I think that kind of what you were saying about what would make like capitalize like the playmakers on the roster, and I think that, I mean, again, like we've said a lot, having like the veteran leadership for not just the quarterback situation, but with KJ Osborne, who's been in the league for some time, and then with Polk and Baker, I think then Polk and Baker will definitely learn from Osborne, and then I think just having your playmakers, like the new guys on the team, having like a support system that will increase not just their skill, but just like their mental approach of playing NFL football.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody want to add to what Daniel said there? We good with that? I almost forgot, okay? I'm supposed to do this at the top of the show. I almost forgot. Hey, Patriots fans, if you want to see Toyota's best offers, including those not seen on TV, go to buyatoyota.com. It's Toyota's official website for deals from the official vehicle of the New England Patriots, Toyota. Let's go places. You guys want to take a phone call?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to do that?
Yeah.
Eldred, all right. Eldred's up first. Eldred's been sitting there. Oh, I got this control myself. Look at this. The monitor is 8 miles away from in here. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, you got him. You got him.
I popped them on.
Eldred, what's up, man?
Hey, Mr. Legend.
What's up,
Happy
baby?
birthday. I see why we get along. We both cancelled. Mine's July 2nd.
Okay.
Yours July 13th.
Well, then happy belated to you too, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are we traveling today?
No, I'm off today. I took a day off.
Good for you.
I had to relax, do the batteries for a little bit.
I got you. I got you. And plus, it's day one of training camp, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. I wish I could have saw more, but I heard some from the PU crew and all this and that, and I'm just, I got my pom ready, popcorn ready, crying towel ready too.
Crying towel?
Because crying towel too. Yeah.
So you think it could be? You think it could still be ugly then, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's because it's new players, new coaches. First time the regime done changed over, so expectation ain't that high, but it's a little high.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
So I just hope they got the second toughest schedule, so it's gonna be a little rough. I just hope I can have my moments where I can laugh a little bit instead of being the butt of the joke like I was last year.
Right.
But other than that, we good.
Okay. All right. I take that. What do you think of the question that our first team has to kind of discuss here today in the whole Brissett versus May derby at quarterback? I think I know which corner you fall in, but maybe you can sort of enlighten everybody here. If Drake is ready to play, should he?
Yes, sir. You should. If he's ready to play, you should. You picked him 3 overall.
Yep.
And I'm like you and like some other guys. Like I said, I used to coach too, not professionally. So I went with the guy that was better, and I took my lump, and I also took my win. So that's what you have to do. You're gonna take it either way it goes. Whether it's either rookie or the second-year quarterback or the third-year quarterback, because everybody gonna make mistakes because everybody adjusts to you.
Yeah.
Everybody
right.
adjusts to the team and everything.
Right.
So, but I'll start him right off the bat. You got him number 3 overall. Put him out there, bad line or no bad line, and see.
All right. Let's
That's what I
say,
would do.
again, just for argument's sake here, let's say that Jacoby Brissett is clearly the better of the two guys in training camp. And Drake is a little behind the 8 ball. Maybe he's not picking it up as quickly. And I have seen nothing in day one that would indicate that would happen. But we didn't see a heck of a lot today. We saw a little 11-on-11. We saw a little 7-on-7, right, guys? Seemed to be a bit okay, but he didn't get all of the reps. I saw Jacoby Brissett with several reps. All 4 quarterbacks got reps today. So they did a pretty good job of, I think, splitting things relatively even. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that May is not better than Jacoby. Then what do you do?
I sit him for the whole year.
Okay.
I'll ride with Jacoby, and then May he's learning, because I'm gonna be honest. I'm not in the May camp I wasn't doing the draft procedure.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know,
I remember that.
and like I tell everybody, I ain't from Missouri, but you got to show me.
Yep.
I see them 2 years in North Carolina, and he'll do some plays that will wow the heck out of you. And you think, okay, this guy got it. He got it. Then you see some plays like, what the heck? You know, what was you thinking? You know, and it's just until he prove otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And this game is a little bit faster than college. And like I said, everybody keeps saying, well, I'm giving him a chance. But I see him against better teams and better defense, and he folds.
Okay.
He can't throw good in cold weather and in rain. Because, like you said, he never been out of North Carolina. With that rainy day in Clemson and with New Mexico, whatever, came and played him, they beat the devil out of him in the bad weather. He just wasn't accurate. He wasn't there. Now, I admit that he was 20 or something like that. You know, he's 21 now. He's the youngest of all the quarterbacks in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he got a lot of upside. I give him that. But you got to put it on the field.
Okay.
And he started, and everybody keep knocking Milton. And I'm like, okay, maybe he's not what everybody think, but his team was ranked 21 in the country.
Yep.
And he led them.
Yep.
And he wild them too.
Yep.
Get good arm, whatever. And I figured if when it comes down to it, it's going to be May and Milton.
Yep. Oh, really?
That's two standing.
Okay.
I like that.
All right. Now, you mentioned, all right, so if Jacoby struggles, if May struggles, then you sit him for the whole year. What if all of a sudden he picks it up at midseason by week 8 or week 9 or maybe even week 11 or 12? And I guess you probably have to consider, all right, where the team is at that stage, right?
Where the team at, right.
Okay.
But if they're with Jacoby, and they like, let's say 5-3 or 4-4, I'm gonna ride Jacoby for a couple more weeks, you know. But if they drop below that, like say they 2-5 or 3-6,
yep,
you know,
yep,
I'll probably let him play the last 2 games.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna put him in the mix in between.
Okay.
Because that ain't gonna be a fair evaluation. I'm sorry, I'm not. Because there's a reason why Jacoby's doing it.
Right.
Either the line
Right.
or it's the receivers
Right.
or it's something.
Right.
You know, May got that running. So did Jacoby, but Jacoby's going to be he's not as dynamic
Yep.
as May because May younger.
Right.
But you know, Jacoby can run also, and so can Milton.
Got it.
But you know, I would still let him sit for maybe the last 2 games of the season and play, and then next year, okay, May, it's your team.
Right. Okay.
Going from there.
Anybody have
like they did with
Anybody have any disagreement with that?
I disagree about him and Sam are going to be the last 2 standing. I think Bailey Zappi really has a good chance at getting that starting spot.
No way. No way.
Well, tell me why you
drinking the Zappy juice.
Yeah. Tell me why you think Bailey Zappi could stick.
Like we saw him in training camp. He looked really good at training camp.
Mm-hmm.
All the throws he did were really accurate. Everything he did, he was really smart with his decisions. And even last year, he was pretty good when they subbed him in for Mac Jones for like half of the season. He looked pretty good out there. I think he really has a shot at still being that number 1 quarterback for the New England Patriots.
I would say probably not
No
number
way.
1. I would say probably not number 1. I'm going to side with Eldred on that one. However,
number 2.
There is a shot that he could stick with this team. My best guess, though, is that he's going to have some value and that somebody who needs a veteran because he's a couple of years into the league now, a backup quarterback, he could be cannon fodder for a trade bait somewhere.
Can I ask that guy a question?
Go. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You're.
What you seen in Zappy in those couple games, that he played last year, he's another version of Mac Jones, you know. And then he folds, like I said, he'll do some wild plays, and he'll do the other plays. His arm is not that strong. He's not that accurate, and he sure ain't that mobile. You know. So what do you see that makes you think that Zappy will stick?
All right, Chase, give him a go.
I don't see it.
Get a go.
See, he was definitely not like Mac Jones, first of all. Mac Jones, some of the throws I saw him throw were horrible. Like
Zappy did something too.
Yeah, he did something too, but like the things the things that Mac Jones did was disgusting, right? But Bailey Zappi, right? He still could definitely be the number 1 quarterback because like You saw
number one quarterback.
Yeah, number one quarterback, definitely.
Yeah, number one. All right. Hey, Eldred, Chase is a Giants fan, so that ought to give you a clue.
Oh, okay. So, I got a family,
but he's doing it,
and they keep throwing.
Yeah,
they keep throwing up.
Yeah,
the 2 wins that Eli beat. I'm getting tired in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. But I got to give the Giant. I got to give Giant fan a lot of credit today because he put his neutral hat on today and he went out and he studied football and watched these guys today. So I got to give him some credit where credit is due. All right, guys, we're going to get on to the next subject. Eldred, thank you. Appreciate your time as always, pal. We're going to talk more. We're going to stay on the offensive side of the ball coming up in a moment. We're going to talk more about the wide receiver battle, which is going to have a little bit more, it may have a little more intrigue just because of sheer numbers involved here. We're not really talking about 2 guys. We're talking about a half a dozen or more. So we'll get onto the wide receivers coming up in just a moment. This program is brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy, Bud Light. You guys can't have any. The official beer sponsor of the New England Patriots.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx, and with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx, and with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx, and with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw...
This is Patriots Playbook.
The legend.
Welcome back into the program here, the Patriots Playbook. It's our Day 1 training camp edition here, our July show, as we do Patriots Playbook monthly during the off season. For anybody that is uninitiated with the program, during the regular season, we are back to a weekly mode, and we anticipate that happening right toward the end of August, actually. I think that's what we decided, right, Matt? Our August show actually is going to come up. What day did we decide on? August 28th?
28th, yes,
yeah,
sir.
We may try to squeeze in one more. On the 21st of August, so we'll put that out over social media if the scheduling works out, because we thought about trying to do a show before the preseason had ended, and that would be right before the Washington Commanders game. on the 25th of August. So more on that probably in the coming weeks. But we'll definitely do a program on August 28th to wrap up the preseason, and then we go into regular season mode the following Wednesday on September 4th in anticipation of the opener against the Cincinnati Bengals. So, and then we'll go weekly throughout the 20 weeks or so during the course of the regular season. In the meantime, back here in the playbook, and we welcome in our second group of Dean College sports broadcasting students. I'll introduce Patrick Dacey. Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, you pronounced it.
I'm good. All right. Patrick, what year are you in school, and where are you from?
I'm going into my senior year. I'm from Hopkinton, Massachusetts.
Hopkinton. All right. So we have a local. Good. So is there any shot that you're a Patriots fan?
Big time.
Okay. All right. I'll say that's a step in the right direction. Dawson DeBari. It's over here to my right now. So, Dawson, I know you're actually going to be an incoming freshman at Dean this fall, right?
Yep.
What's your hometown?
I'm from Swampscott, Massachusetts.
Swampscott. Are you also a Patriot fan?
Only since birth.
I guess that means something then. Nick Gelinas. Or is it Gelinas? Did I say it right?
No, yeah, you said it right.
Gelinas,
right? Yeah.
Okay. And you are what, a junior in high school?
Yes, I'm going to be a junior in high school.
Okay. And where are you from?
I am from Loudon, New Hampshire, so if you know New Hampshire Motor Speedway,
yep.
Same town.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we do know New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Noah LaSpina. Did I get it right,
Yes,
Noah?
you did.
Okay. And your hometown is?
Wyndham, New Hampshire.
Okay. So I got 2 New Hampshires and 2 Massachusetts. New England rules on this one, right? We picked this team right, I think, didn't we?
I'm Rhode Island, so let's go.
Yeah, right. Okay. I guess I count a little bit, right?
You've earned it with the Friars.
Earned it, well, maybe. But I'm also I'm also a masshole, so that's right. In fact, I live in the same town that we have somebody on the line here that I wanted to bring onto the show. Let me hold. Can I get it here? Yeah. Oh, I got it. There it is. Josh is in Westport. Hey, Josh, how are you? Josh isn't there. Maybe Josh hung up because I think Adelina said she knew a Josh in Westport. Okay. Well, Josh, if you want to call back, you can. We'll leave it at that. All right, so we're going to move on to topic number 2 today. We've kind of spent some time with the quarterbacks, but I mentioned before we took the break that offensively speaking, the other real focus on this team is at wide receiver. You know, I for one, am not really sold on labels for wide receivers. Oh, God, how can the Patriots play? They don't have a 1. You know, and who's going to be the 2, and who's going to play the slot, and who's going to be the tight end, and who? Guys, I mean, honestly, catch the ball, run with the ball, score touchdowns with the ball. That's what we need here. Now, whether or not that makes you a 1 or a 7, I don't really care one way or the other. I'm kind of curious what your overall viewpoint is of the wide receiver core as it presently consists. Now, we know that there are more guys on this team right now on the 90-man roster than are going to stick on this team when we all get all the way down to 53 in another month or so, right? So what's your overall impression of where the roster is now? And I think we also realize, of course, that, the question I had for you today was, who's likely to play on this team and who's likely to go? Which wide receivers stick and which ones move on? All right. Dawson, you want to start?
Sure. I think on the 90-man roster right now, you really only have 4 guys that are completely locked in to a roster spot. Obviously, Kendrick Bourne dealing with the ACL injury, but once he's ready, he's going to play. Obviously, the 2 rookies that you spent high draft picks on, you want them to play, so I'm sure that they'll be locked on the roster. And the other one is Demario Douglas, who was the leading receiver last year, albeit it was only 500 and something yards.
Yeah.
But you're looking to see him develop more in a slot role and not having to carry the outside role for this team this year.
Okay. We'll remind you, phone lines are still open, 855-PATS-500, toll-free, 855-PATS 500. Web radio at patriots.com. If you want to hit us up on email, you can find me on Twitter /X at JR Broadcaster. We monitor that feed. If you want to ask a question on Twitter, you can do that, or you can post to my Facebook page. All right. Let's see. Nick, I know you're chomping at the bit to go, so take that one as well. What do you think?
Yeah, so what Dawson said, I love that. You know, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, those 2 rookies I think are going to be big. And we saw them today in training camp, day 1. I really liked what I was seeing from them, and also Demario Douglas. Now, my hope with these 3 is that they're going to develop with Drake May, and I think that these 3 could be kind of this is a big statement, but I think they could be the big three for the Patriots.
Really? Okay. And the fact that they have a chance to kind of grow together from a young age, that's helpful?
I believe so. I think that getting those reps with Drake May, especially we saw it today, I think that's going to help them.
What did you see maybe that you didn't expect to see from any of those guys today? Did you see anything? Notice anything?
I noticed Jalen Polk actually at the beginning was taking punt returns. I saw that. I was not expecting that, so that was kind of a shock to me.
Okay, all right. Noah, what do you think? What overall, how does this group sort of rate who's likely to stay, who's likely to go?
Going into this, I was skeptical of two players. That was Jalen Reagor and and Juju Smith-Schuster. Two of these guys really struggled. Now, I think that Juju Smith-Schuster has a big chance of getting cut, mainly because of that big contract, that 3 years, $25 million they gave him. Now he hasn't played up to that contract yet.
Got 2 years left, right?
Yeah, 2 years left, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's not on the roster. However, he could make it because they need the receivers, obviously. And I know that Kendrick Bourne, he, in my opinion, is the most locked receiver. The other receiver
But Kendrick Bourne is also recovering from major knee surgery.
Yeah.
So if you need a veteran presence in that lineup, is that the way Juju hangs around?
Yeah.
Especially if Kendrick can't play at least right away.
Yeah. And the other person I was skeptical on was Jalen Reagor. See, I think he will make the roster as a kick returner. He had some very good kick return plays, but I was skeptical of him because of his playing style. He wasn't very good. However, today in training camp, he made me impressed. Big throw by Drake May, and it was caught by him. One hand, he reached out like that, and he grabbed it. Next throw, it was like a fly route. He beat the corner. Another big catch by him. Caught it in like this, and he got the touchdown.
Yeah. It was probably maybe the single best play of the entire practice today,
definitely.
right? All right. Patrick, what are your thoughts?
Well, just to piggyback off what Noah said, I think that a reason Juju could stick around is really two reasons for me, right? So one of them is if they do cut Juju, there is a lot of dead money that comes with him, and the Pats have to pay that off. So it wouldn't really help them in that regard, right? Also, I think it was mentioned before that Juju is a veteran guy, and he does have some leadership in the locker room. The Pats wide receivers right now, it's a pretty young group, You got Judon Baker, you got Polk, you got even like Pop Douglas. They're all pretty young guys, and Juju is someone who is coming off a tough year, definitely a down year for him, but he has had success in the past, and maybe you give him another shot to do that. So I say if the roster was to be cut down today, he'd make it for those reasons. But at the end of the day, I think it comes down to production and how these guys will produce in the preseason. And I think that last one or two spots is really between Juju, Jalen Reagor, Tyquan Thornton, and Kayshon Boutte to get that some of those final spots.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, of course.
So we talked a bit about Juju. So Juju, 461 offensive snaps last season on 47 targets, just 29 receptions. But my question for you guys is, was the QB situation part of that number?
Yeah, I do think so.
I think so. Absolutely. I think that's actually a fair question to ask. You're not getting production from your quarterback. You're not getting production from receivers and vice versa, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it'll be helpful to have, it seems like a veteran guy, Jacoby Brissett, starting to start the year at least, because Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones were completely lost last year. The receivers were 29th overall in PFF grade in creating separation, but the throws weren't there for them to catch at the same time. So I think the new quarterback room, the new offensive coordinator, we'll just have to wait and see how training camp goes. I think it's a huge training camp for some of these guys like Tyquan Thornton and Kayshon Boutte, who haven't shown much in their young careers. I know Boutte had some legal issues, and he kind of butted heads a little bit last year with Belichick. So we'll see with Gerard Mayo, Alex Van Pelt, what they can do to get these guys producing, and I think that'll have a big factor on how they decide the roster.
The one guy that is a real enigma to me is Tyquan Thornton. All right? Here's a guy that I watched him play at Baylor, and I thought, wow, he's got a lot of speed, but, man, is he skinny. You know, he's kind of slight. He reminded me a little bit of me when I was that age. If I turned sideways, I disappeared. You know, that kind of thing. But I didn't have the near kind of speed. He's like I said, he's a big question mark. We don't know. Right now, he doesn't seem to be able to stay healthy enough to be able to benefit this team. I know they want to give him the benefit of the doubt because he was a higher, draft pick. Yeah. But it's got to be put up or shut up time with him right now, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he just hasn't stayed on the field. He's shown flashes. He had that 2-touchdown game against the Browns with Zappi in 2022. But, I mean, the best quality is availability, and he just hasn't been available for them. And when he's there, he's been a complete non-factor. So it's a big camp for Tyquan Thornton.
Yeah.
So you guys thought that Pop Douglas was going to be on the roster at the start of the season. What do you guys think? I'm pretty sure he did not play a snap in that 11v11 or 7v7 today. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. I'm not really sure why that was. Maybe he's just resting for whatever reason that may be. But I just think that maybe the team wants to see some of those bubble guys and what they can do, because Demario Douglas at this point, he's a lock. He's probably, if Kendrick Bourne isn't ready to go week 1, he's probably their top receiver there, and they want to see what guys behind him can have a big role. Even the guys that probably will make the roster, like, can Polk step up as a rookie? Can, somebody like KJ Osborne, who they got from Minnesota, step up and play a big role there? And even some of these bubble guys, like, could, Juju get back and have a bounce-back year? Could Kayshon Boutte show you something? Could Thornton show you something? Maybe they just wanted to see that more.
Yeah, they really put Jalen Polk to the test today. They put him against Christian Gonzalez.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw that. It was a good matchup, wasn't it?
Very good. He won his route, but I think it was Joe Milton at the time missed him. He beat I think it was a curl route on Gonzalez, and the throw was a little bit too high. But, yeah, I'm excited for these two rookies. They have great upside, but you never know with Patriots' recent draft history with receivers. You just want to see them on the field and show that they are an NFL-level talent, because guys like N'Keal Harry, I guess you can put Tyquan Thornton in that conversation now, that they've drafted and used high draft picks, have struggled to just prove that they are NFL worthy. And they just don't have – they have so many guys that are just complete question marks.
Now, I know you guys talked a bit about Tyquan Thornton and how he's just not been able to get out on the field. And just kind of prove that, the last 2 NFL seasons, he's started the season on the IR list.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So injuries during camp. So – really, he needs to stay healthy this camp.
Yeah, you got to be able to be
have
on the
a
field.
chance.
Yeah, you got to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to play. All right, 2 other guys I want to ask you about. First of all, Kayshon Boutte. Mm-hmm. All right, here's a guy that a lot of fans thought this team stole in the draft a year ago, and he had a hard time getting on the field his first year. Now that he's overcome, we at least hope that he's overcome all of his off-field issues and available to play. How much rope did they give this guy to play with? How much of a chance do they give him to be, in that top 5 or 6 that's going to end up making this team?
I'm not sure about that. I saw 2 different sections. It looked like there was first team on the right side and there was second team on the left. I spotted Boutte, Jackway Jackson, and Javon Baker there. And on the right side, I saw Thornton, I saw Pop Douglas there, and just like the starters. So I'm not sure if Boutte has a chance at the top 6.
So you think he's already been relegated?
Yes,
I think
definitely.
He has a small leash. I think they really have to see this training camp what he can do, and he has to show up.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Also, to add to that, I do agree with you. I think he does have a small leash, and he has kind of had some off-the-field issues. But honestly, in terms of talent and potential, I think he has as much of any of these guys. I mean, he just has to go out there and perform and put that stuff behind him. I mean, if you're really looking at it, Rager's a good return guy, but in the NFL, he hasn't really been a polished wide receiver, right? Tyquan Thornton, too. The production just hasn't been there, And then Juju's coming off some injuries. He's coming off a tough year. So, realistically, if Kayshon Boutte goes out there in the preseason and puts together some great performances, I think he does have a really good shot of making it. But
the borderline guys on this roster at receiver, all of these guys that we've been talking about that are iffy making the roster, the ones that can display versatility and maybe do more than one thing, those are the guys they're going to stick with. whether it's kick return or whatever it may be, play the slot as opposed to the X or the Y. They're gonna or the Z. They're gonna want you over someone who's just single-minded in his duties, without a doubt. That's why a guy like Rager, to me, is a lock. He's an absolute lock because they'll likely utilize him in returns.
I agree with Rager for sure. He kick return, punt return. He was on field goal, kickoff. He showed his special teams versatility, and that's why he stuck around last year when a lot of people were just questioning why anyone would want to pick him up after his first few years in the league. But return game-wise, I wonder, with Marcus Jones healthy, who they're going to go to for punt and kick return, which is probably one of the reasons that Rager could be on that bubble, even though he showed his versatility last year.
Okay. Anybody else want to tackle that? All right, so if that's Keishawn Booty, how about now his name has escaped me. We were just talking about him.
Juju? Or
Help me out.
Juju
No,
Smith? Osborne?
No, not Osborne.
Baker?
Polk. Thank you, Baker. Javon Baker.
Javon, okay.
That's it.
So the one thing that kind of worries me about Judon now, he's really, really good. We saw it today. He was making catches, but he did drop one, and that's kind of the thing with him. We've seen he likes to body catch, and he kind of loses focus, and even when it's a routine catch. As a result, he had 15 drops over 4 seasons in college, including a 10.3% drop rate last season. He had 6 drops total last season. So could that play a factor?
I think it definitely would.
Absolutely.
10% drop rate?
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, there's some improvement to do there.
I will add, though, I'm pretty sure with Baker, he had some big drop problems, but he definitely improved as the season went on for UCF. So I think he's definitely somebody that could overcome some of those problems, because end of the day, I mean, Javon Baker is really something this offense could use, and that's a big-time deep threat, which they've been missing for years, honestly.
I think one downside I saw today is doing some homework on Alex Van Pelt, the new offensive coordinator. He's a very run-heavy and play-action pass guy, and from everything I've read on Javon Baker, his outside blocking, he's not interested in it. So that could play a factor into him losing some snaps because he hasn't shown his willingness to block in college. But I think he has upside as a very good deep threat later as his career goes on. He needs to show a willingness to block on run plays, and he needs to clean up his drops.
Let me ask you guys something. What, in your mind, is the definition of a number one receiver? We opened up today talking about, I don't really have a designation between a 1 or a 6 or a 5 or an X or a Y. To me, catch the damn ball. But should there be a definite one? And what kind of traits should a 1 have?
See, there are like clear teams with a number 1. You see the Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, Vikings, Justin Jefferson. But when you're in a situation like, the Bills, I'm not sure who their one's going to be. It could be Keon Coleman. I'm not sure. But the Patriots, I'm not sure either. What if Kendrick's not ready? Kendrick's not ready for number 1. I'm not sure who's going to be that number 1. But
I'm not even
adding
sure
on
he'd
to
be
you,
the one.
No.
I'm not even sure he'd be the one if he was healthy.
Really? Yeah. But even if he's not ready, just catch the ball. That's how they're going to decide.
Yeah.
I really think the Patriots don't have, one standout wide receiver. I think we have a lot of versatility in our players, but we just don't have that one player that just stands out among the rest. I mean, of course, Demario Douglas, very good on, short routes, or he's super quick, so he can run the ball, too. But I just don't think we have that one player that stands out.
There's no guy that's just a dude. They just have that alpha mentality. Like Justin Jefferson came into the league, broke every rookie record, was talking his stuff in post game, and there's nobody on the Patriots that can really go out and be that guy. Like Javon Baker, I know post draft is I make people in wheelchairs stand up, which I like. I like that kind of stuff, having confidence, and but just his build.
Should we go get Brandon Ayuk?
That would be a big help for sure. In this
That'd be number one.
I'm of the opinion. I'm of the opinion. Yeah, sure. It'd be great, but I don't think they need to give up a 1 for the guy.
No,
I'm holding on to the 1. I don't care what you say because this team is liable to have a really good draft pick again next year.
Yep.
Now, if the rumors and the reported stories are true that Patriots and Elliott Wolf offered a high 2, and we're going to tell Ayuk that they'd pay him the $28 million or whatever it was that he was originally looking for. I'm like, wow. And the 49ers didn't take that offer.
See, that's the problem. $28 million.
Well, it's big money, but
$20 million.
The man is definitely going to step up and be what you want him to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I add something, though?
Yeah.
I think that a couple things, right? I think they've definitely tried to go out and get receivers, even like a guy like Calvin Ridley, who they really tried to pursue in free agency. They couldn't get him. They tried to get Ayuk near the draft, couldn't get him. I think at this point, the Patriots, like, you're looking at this year, you're probably not going to be a contending team. This is a team that's developing, and we're young, and while getting a guy like Ayuk would help, my question is to you guys, is it worth it right now when you're not a contending team to go out and give away draft picks?
That's a great point.
Yeah,
I'd rather let your young guys.
I mean,
is it worth the money to spend?
That's true.
I think they missed their window to get him because the price was at its lowest probably during the draft. But now the 49ers, they're in camp, and he actually reported he's not holding out. So at this point, the price is going to be at its highest because the 49ers are trying to go and win a Super Bowl. So unless he's going to hold out and not play games, why would they even look to trade him if he's willing to play in the games unless that deal is perfect? So obviously getting a guy like Brandon Ayuk, he would come in, be the clear-cut number one, and you're looking at this receiver room a lot different. Demario Douglas gets to move over to the slot where he's more comfortable at 5'8". Kendrick Bourne doesn't have to carry the load of being a wide receiver one. And these rookies can build confidence behind these guys when they're not facing number one corners. Like, we could go out week one and Jalen Polk in Cincinnati is against their number one corner. So it just opens up a lot of things if you can get a guy like Brandon Ayuk.
You guys want to take a call?
Yeah.
Sure.
Jason's in Lynn. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Jason from Lynn.
Oh, hey, Jason. Yeah. How's it going? What do you got?
Going good. Coming back from my job in Quincy, 9 to 5, local 12. I'm hearing that we don't got a number one wide receiver, but I'm thinking it's Polk from Washington. I've been riding with those guys. I'm in a little bit of disagreement with the guys, thinking it's a toss-up. I think we're going to have some rookie chem here.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was about to ask that question too. Do we think Jalen Polk will become the number one wide receiver for the Patriots? And I think so. And I think, like I stated earlier, Javon Baker, Jalen Polk, and Demario Douglas, I think they are the Patriots' big three.
I think, yeah. I mean, he has the tools to become a number one wide receiver, but he's got things to fix up. Obviously, he can't really fix that he's slightly below average speed for a wide receiver. He needs to refine his route running. He's got the NFL body where he can go up and get a ball. We saw it at Washington whenever they wanted to go deep. It was usually him in traffic. That is his one elite skill is he can go up and get you a ball, which is a great skill to have as a wide receiver one. But there's just other things at his game that are just not ready yet to become a wide receiver one.
Totally agree with you. That's a great way to look at it. Love that. Thanks, boys.
Okay.
Go Pats, all right?
You got it.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate you. 855-PATS-500, toll-free number, 855-PATS-500, web radio at patriots.com, at JR Broadcaster on Twitter or X. What do you guys call it, Twitter or
Twitter.
X?
I still call it Twitter.
I still call it Twitter.
We all call it Twitter? Good, because I've been
never
trying to
gonna
be
call it
politically correct, and I hate it. It's Twitter. Okay. And then on Facebook, anybody here have a Facebook page?
Nope.
I
No.
do.
Unfortunately.
I actually do, yeah.
Patrick's looking at me like, God, how old are you?
Unfortunately, no, I do not.
It's okay. It's honest. I like that. That's old people's social media, right? Old people's social media. All right. How many games does this team win this year?
Go ahead, Noah.
Take a prediction. Take a shot.
5.
7.
I got them winning 6 games.
I don't know what the over-under is at, but I think if I was a betting man, I'd go with the under just with all the moving pieces. If it's 4.5, I think I'd go with 4.
I'm pretty sure ESPN Bet has that they are not favored in a single game this season.
That's correct.
But, I think any Patriots fan would be happy if we could somehow make it to the wild card.
That would be a dream.
That would be a dream. You're going to have to win more than 7.
I mean, the defense.
And you're optimistic, okay?
You need the Bills and the Dolphins to not win a single game.
And talking to some of the players at autographs, they were seeming pretty optimistic. But like you said, I mean, it is the first day of training camp. They haven't got yelled at yet.
Haven't gotten yelled at, haven't got hit in the mouth. All right, guys, good job. Way to go. All right, so we're halfway through this thing. We've got 2 more subjects that we're going to tackle coming up. In fact, speaking of tackle, on the offensive side of the ball, these are the people that have to protect Drake May. These are the people that have to hold the line and block so the receivers can catch the ball and, open up holes for the running backs to get through the hole. The offensive line is a big offseason and start of the season story for the New England Patriots. Have they done enough to protect Drake May or Jacoby Brissett or anybody else that would be in there? The offensive line is the subject as we roll along with Patriots Playbook on Patriots.com radio.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
This is Patriots Playbook. Is it my turn to talk now? Here's your host of Patriots Playbook, John Rook.
Bad ass.
The legend.
Has your work from home space turned into an everything from home space? Find furniture that fits your life, your budget, and your living space. Thanks to Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop tons of on-trend, small space-friendly styles like Bob's Do-It-All dining sets, smart storage, and small footprint sectionals that can take you all the way from midday meeting to happy hour in no time. So stop into your local store and multitask stylishly with Bob's Discount Furniture, the official furniture store of the New England Patriots. We continue into hour 2 of the playbook, our July edition. We're featuring students that I have. Did I miss that? Okay, yeah, we lost that. All right, we're featuring students that. You good?
If you just lost audio, that was my fault.
Oh, that was you. Okay, I was about to say. It all of a sudden went.
I got
dark.
a lot of new knobs in here, John.
Oh, I know, but I
kinda like cut.
Things went dark. All of a sudden, I said, "Oh, is this it? End of life? Is it here already? Damn." I just had a birthday this week, Jeez. Cut my feet out from underneath me. All right, okay. At least I got the sponsor in.
Miss Robin take you out?
She did. You know what we did? We rented a boat. We went out and basically cruised Cape Cod Canal.
Can't beat that.
It was awesome.
Great weather for it.
It was awesome weather. And then, of course, we're out in the middle of the Cape Cod. We're actually over there by Mass Maritime, where the Bourne Bridge is out there, and the engine conked. So I had to call Boat AAA and get towed in. How do you like that?
You're like Dave Portnoy. Portnoy just did the same thing.
Did he really?
He lit a flare off in the harbor.
Damn. I wished I'd thought of that. I would have done the same thing. I'd have stood out on the bow of the boat and just launched it, like I'm shooting like Roman candles or something. Oh, I wished I had thought of that. Shoot. Now I'm going to have to get another boat and I have to break down all over again. And, Okay, I digress already. It's subject number 3, hour number 2 here in the playbook. We have our Dean College sports broadcasting students as a part of our mix here this afternoon, and we are going to talk a little bit about the offensive line coming up. Eric Darcy is here. Eric, tell us where you're from and what year in school.
I'm going into my junior year of high school.
Okay.
And I'm from Oakland, New Jersey. It's very near NYC. And I want to give a shout out to all my guys at home watching: Brandon, Dan, Derek, Matt, Mike. I also want to give a shout out to my mom who's watching
the
at
entire
home.
free world. Okay, good. Yeah, that's good. That's fine. You're allowed to do that. In addition to Eric, Noah Heyer. Hi, Noah.
Hello.
What year in school? Where are you from?
I'm going into my junior year, and I'm from Norton, Massachusetts.
Norton. Oh, so you're a neighbor.
Yeah.
You're a neighbor. Are you a Patriots fan?
Oh, yeah.
Please, thank you. Good Lord. You can't be from Norton, Mass. and not be a Patriots fan. Seriously. All right. Mark Manfreda. Mark, how's it going?
Good. You?
Yeah, we're hanging. We're just hanging. What year are you in school, and where are you from?
So I'm going to go to my freshman year of college at Dean.
Yes. Yes. Fresh meat. Yes.
Yeah. I'm from Millbury, Mass. So it's 20 to 15 minutes outside of Worcester.
Yeah, I know where Millbury is. Absolutely. And are you a Patriots fan?
Absolutely.
Okay, look, I got to ask the question. I've had Giants fan here. I had, Noah Laspina in the last segment of the program. He's a Dolphins fan. Did you guys know that about Noah?
Ew. What?
No, and he's from New Hampshire.
Unacceptable.
New Hampshire. It is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Totally
Yeah,
unacceptable.
From New Hampshire and then
Totally.
Dolphins.
Are you from the area and not a fan of a rival?
I'm just saying, right? And Ava Powell is with us. Ava, I think you win the award for furthest distance.
Oh, well, Charlie's from Arizona.
Oh, that's right. Charlie.
I don't know which one's farther.
Okay. No. It would be Charlie probably. But you're from Virginia, right?
Yeah, Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia, right? What year are you in school?
Going into my senior year.
Senior year, right? Okay. Is this something you think you want to do?
I mean, I wanted to come here and experience it just to see if I liked it, if I wanted to learn more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. What did you think of camp today?
I think it was pretty fun. I liked watching the guys play on the field. We got to see the cheerleaders too. It's just pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. You're in competitive cheer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sure you probably were paying attention, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, we have a pretty good track record of Dean College dance majors making the Patriots cheerleading squad.
Yeah.
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 You didn't know that, Marine?
I did not know that.
Oh, listen, I'm very proud of this. The very first male NFL cheerleader, okay, is a former student of mine.
That's crazy.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I know, right?
Amazing.
That's probably not much you
I
can
did
say.
not know that.
Yeah,
That's wild.
The very first male in NFL history. He made the Patriots cheerleading squad, I think, 4 years ago.
That's some
maybe?
good bar trivia.
Yeah. So he's a good kid, and he actually was in my speech class, and he aced it. He got an A, so he did a pretty good job of communicating. So anyway, there's a track record there, Ava.
Yeah.
There's a good track record. All right, guys, the subject matter here today, and by the way, we'll remind everybody, phone number, toll-free, open, 855-PATS 500, 855-PATS 500, web radio at patriots.com if you want to send email. You can hit me up on Twitter at JRBroadcaster, or you can find me on Facebook at john.rook. Our question is, how offensive is the offensive line? Of course, you understand the context. Offensive being stinky, And I'm not talking about the size of the guys or anything in the trenches, but let's face it, they struggled. They struggled last year. It was a horrific year for the offensive line a year ago. I am in the camp of, if there were better guys in front of him, Mac Jones might still be here.
Absolutely.
I can agree on that.
Okay, so how offensive is this offensive line? Is there hope for Jacoby? Is there hope for Drake? And how will the play of the offensive line affect that competition? What are your thoughts? Who wants to start?
I'll go first.
Okay, go
on. Ava, what are the stats for last year's for the offensive line?
It was.
I know they were bottom of the league for something.
Yeah, they are.
I think they were ranked
dead last.
Dead last. In what?
The Patriots offensive line ranked dead last, 32nd with the pass blocking win rate of 43%.
That is not.
Pass blocking win rate was dead last. Yes.
That's not good. That's not. I mean, how are you supposed to win games when your O-line can't even block for you?
Understood.
I think there's definitely from today, watching today, it was like the O-line looked solid. There were plenty of runs, rushed for 10+ yards. Jacoby and Drake May had plenty of time in the pocket when they passed, making some great passes as well. I think there's definitely hope. I know that Cole Strange is out with a torn pectoral tendon, and we have to find someone to fill that role, which I think it could be either Nick Levert, Michael Jordan, or Layden Robinson as well.
Okay.
Robinson made 33 career starts at Texas A&M as right guard. Scouts believe he was close to being pro-ready as well during the draft. Michael Jordan was undrafted, made 26 starts in the SEC. Scouts say he was a draftable talent as center. And then Nick Levert, I hope I'm saying that right.
Yep.
Saw plenty of opportunities in spring as right guard, sometimes top of the offensive line. 10 career starts in 3 seasons with Tampa, so it's not a lot. So I mean, if we can get more reps for them, so you can fill in for Cole Strange, I think we have hope.
Oh, okay. Leverett.
Yes, sorry, excuse me,
Okay,
Leverett.
You said
sorry.
Levert, yeah. Okay, I was thinking, do we have a new guy? I didn't keep track. It's preseason. What do I know, right? Okay, that's okay. That's fine. All right. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I really think that last year the one of the main reasons with the offensive line struggle was injuries and health issues. I know that Cole Strange was out a lot this was his sophomore season. I know Trent Brown was out a lot, and we had other guys having to fill in, like City Sal, when I believe he was a rookie, he had to fill in. I know Jake Andrews was in for the last 2 or so games, but I feel like now that we extended on Onwenu. It was like 4 years, $71 million. Yep. We got more help with a core 4.
Yep.
I'm not exactly completely set on him. I'm not really bought on the idea because mainly he hasn't played left tackle.
Well, aren't they trying to switch him to left tackle?
Right.
They were trying to switch him to left tackle, and he hasn't played left tackle since college, so that could be a bit concerning.
And what year is he?
I have no idea. I have no idea what year he's in. I know he's been playing for a decent amount. He's been
okay
with we signed him from the Steelers, and I mean we have David Andrews coming back, which is gonna help. Like I said on Wenu, my main concern would be with Cole Strange, as he's not gonna be able. The report says that he will be out at least for the first 4 games of the season, which is where I think that Leverett can come in, since he was holding down his position well at Tampa, and he only allowed just 4 quarterback hits and no sacks against Brady when he played there in 2022. It was around he took like 482 snaps, 0 sacks, just 4 hits allowed. And I feel like since Cole Strange probably will be out, I think that Leverett can fill that spot nicely. As well as we also have Caden Wallace that we drafted out of Penn State, the 4-star prospect. I think he will definitely add some depth and help to the line. But other than the concerns on Strange's health and a core 4, definitely City Sal I have a main concern on.
Well, also, I mean, health is a huge reason why the line wasn't that good last year. I mean, a lot of people were injured. We didn't have a lot. I mean, I would say we didn't have a lot of depth.
Half the team was in the hospital.
Exactly. So I mean, for you to say it's all up to health, I mean, it really is. I mean, that's important.
Yeah.
Who's the left tackle on this team?
Right now, it's going to be a core 4. But like I said, he's usually a right tackle, and he hasn't played left tackle since college, which could be very concerning. But I feel like with the Patriots, they also have Onwenu at right tackle, who, as we know, has played both before. He has position versatility. And if Okorafor starts to struggle at left tackle, I feel like the Patriots could move him back to where he was originally playing at right and try Onwenu at left. Because I remember they did that at some point last season, and it worked out decently well.
Okay. Any other thoughts on that, guys?
Noah?
I mean, I think you covered most of it, and the main concern is health. But I'm not too concerned about Okorafor moving to left tackle. I mean,
so I looked it up. It's his 7th season.
Yeah.
And I mean, he hasn't played since college. So I mean, that's a long time. He can be rusty.
That's true. But
like the gap between like if you're a right tackle switching to a left tackle, it's just like a huge significant change.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he might.
To me, I think they're going to end up having to plug and play quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Moving guys around. They'll do some experimenting. There may even be some lineup changes depending upon who's lining up on the other team and whether or not one of the defenders plays to a particular weakness of one of the Patriots players in the offensive line. I think it's going to have to mix and match. We'd love to find a core 5 that would be there from day one and stay hopefully as healthy as they possibly can throughout. That ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, we all understand that, especially over the stretch of a 17-week regular season, soon to be 18. I don't know. Did you guys see that story?
They're trying to
the NFL and NFLPA are already in big negotiations to add the 18th game to the regular season. And I've said that for a long time to come, since we moved to 17 on this program and other venues and other places, that the 18th game was going to happen.
Yeah.
It is going to happen whether anybody wants it or not. It's just an inevitability because we need more meaningful football. We don't need more non-meaningful football, which means exhibition play. So they'll end up, still doing a couple of preseason games. You might get a controlled scrimmage or, joint practices like the Patriots are going to do with the Eagles in a couple of weeks. But 18 games is going to be here, which means likely there'll be a couple of buys, an extra buy moved in. It also, I know I've changed the subject here for a moment, but I brought it up just because it's top of mind. I think we'll finally, the way that the calendar plays out, I think we're finally going to get that day after the Super Bowl holiday because it's going to push the Super Bowl back, I think, to President's Day weekend in February, which means everybody's going to have the day off from work and you guys school, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I'm staying up late for the Super Bowl.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't though?
Yeah, it's all right.
Somebody who has to get up at 3 a.m. for morning drive radio, like I used to have to do. That just stunk. That was awful. Yeah.
I do know the Pats have Scott Peters, the new coach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's big.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Gerard Mayo now, and then he hired Scott Peters, who then Van Pelt hired Peters, I believe.
Yeah.
That's big.
I mean, of that.
And it's all new systems now, and for people that for linemen that were in the Belichick era, I think it's gonna be a really big switch.
Yeah, I also just realized that I just saw that Caden Wallace also plays left tackle. So if the Pats don't decide to move Onwenu to left, then Caden Wallace, the rookie, who I don't really know if he should jump in considering he is a rookie and I feel like he may need time to develop. If Okorafor really does start to struggle, then honestly I feel like that the Pats could try Caden Wallace. Because his draft report was really good. He had a lot of positives. Plays long and can keep defenders at his fingertips. Loose balance mover with good length and big hands. It just continues on in the amount of positives that this guy has.
Where does Calvin Anderson fit into this? Because here's a guy that, came in. We thought he had some versatility. He obviously had the illness issue a year ago. And so now he's trying to play his way back into the mix. He can also play tackle, and I think that's his preferred position. Is this a guy that's going to get a look?
I think so. Yeah. I don't see why he wouldn't. Just like you said. He has all the. Sixth season. He's a not veteran, but he knows how to play the position. 6'5", 305. He's got we saw him today. He did really well during practice. I don't see why it'd be an issue.
Yeah. And speaking of that, so who stood out to you at practice today in terms of some of these big guys out there? And was there a lot of mixing and matching? What did you notice about rotations or anything about the guys when they were in their 11 on 11s and 7 on, well, especially 11 on 11s?
Mainly, like, I don't really know if like anyone specifically stood out to me, but I know that during like some of their like 7 on 7, 11 on 11 drills, they were able to like create some of the gaps and the holes for Mondre or Kevin Harris to run through that actually got them very far down the field. I mean, I know they weren't playing tackle because it's first day of training camp, but they were able to create some really good holes for the running backs, which now that Van Pelt is here, he's a very like run heavy play action guy. So I feel like now that that's happening, they're gonna start giving Mondre, Harris, all those guys a lot more touches than I feel like they've had in the past. Which, if the O-line can create those gaps, and that's gonna create for some big plays in the upcoming season.
Okay, Ava, what did you see out there at practice today that maybe you didn't know or you didn't expect by some of these guys? Because when you knew that you're going to talk about the offensive lineman, I'm sure it's probably not a position you're terribly familiar with overall. But what did they teach you? What did they introduce you to in that regard?
I mean, they're all really tall and big, and I don't know. They're fast. They're good with the ball. I don't know.
Yep.
I mean, from what I saw, it looked pretty solid.
There seemed to be, at least from what I saw out there, there seemed to be some switching of positions going on, at least a little bit. I think they were they were kind of plugging and playing. Does that versatility help or hurt at this developmental stage? Who wants to tackle that one?
I think it can be both. I think it can hurt and help. I mean, it can definitely hurt because some players aren't familiar; they're not accustomed to it. They might not necessarily know what to do in certain situations, but I think it can also help with versatility. I mean, once they figure out how to play the position, they can play both. You know, let's just say it's a tackle. But they can do right and left.
Yeah,
it's different.
I completely agree with you. Like I've said earlier, last season they swapped on Wenu, I believe, over to left tackle for a few games, and that ended up going really well. So I think that it can help them if like some players discover that they are versatile at position switching, but if they're not, then it's going to end up costing the team.
Costing the team, what, in wins, losses, talent? What are we costing them?
Could be costing them like pressure on the QB, sacks. Could be costing them.
We do have to keep guy named Drake May healthy at all costs.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I don't want another Mac Jones situation where we draft this highly talented quarterback early in the first round, and it just all goes to waste, and we trade him away a few seasons later.
Gotcha. All right, let's I mean, look, I think we all realize that this position is going to be a WIP, a work in progress all season long, right? You have to hope that you can stay relatively healthy. One of the keys to healthiness is versatility, because one of the things that the Patriots have done under the previous regime, and I think seems to be really the way to roll it in most NFL camps in teams, is through versatility, because you create depth when guys can play multiple positions. So you're looking for players on the offensive line that can play multiple positions. You've got David Andrews, Jake Andrews potentially to back him up at center. And Jake Andrews can also, I think, slide over to guard, so that helps you in terms of your versatility where that's concerned. The tackle obviously is the key issue to me, because you're protecting on the left side, the blind side of the quarterback. If you need the athleticism for the quarterback, then that's probably when he needs to recognize, he needs to have a feel for that pocket a little bit, so he knows when to step up and move around and avoid, getting slammed. That's the biggest issue. I personally believe, my thought is that until they're able to develop some continuity, that you're going to see the Patriots not dink and dunk, but probably emphasize a shorter passing game and running game. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of what everybody really wants to see. Hey, Jalen, go long. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I mean, we also didn't see that during training camp today. I mean, they were all short passes, or at least midfield passes.
It was mainly like curl in out routes. And so I want to kind of go on a bit of a yap session about this. But one of my main concerns, like I said earlier, was City Sao, who was thrown into the starting lineup as a rookie due to injuries to other O-linemen. And I mean, his performance was in my opinion, exceptional, like average, as he got what needed to be done. but he wasn't like he didn't wow me or catch my attention, or I feel like that.
Well, isn't that all you need though? It's just an average. I mean, you don't need someone to absolutely over the top impress you, like just give you a.
But I feel like I feel
Vince
like
Wilfork impressions, but like someone that can fill in.
I feel like with the Patriots, with the situation their O-line is, they're gonna need like guys who sort of kind of veteran guys, who I feel like who can play at that right guard position, who City South can develop and learn under for the future. Mainly guys who have played under the Erhardt-Perkins system, which is the system that the Patriots use on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like they're both signed now, but guys like Kevin Dotson and Kevin Zeitler, who they've played for the Steelers and the Giants, who have also used those type of systems. That like the system's like a smash mouth offense that maximizes a team's possession and doesn't usually call on running backs as like receivers. So it's more of a throw to score, run to win type of offense. And like type of scheme, and I feel like if we can get sort of a guy who's familiar with that system and can play good at right guard, sort of a veteran off the free agent market, I feel like City South can develop under him, so that when the time comes, since he's going into his sophomore season, when the time comes, he can step up to that role and excel at it.
I mean, I think he can stay right where he is personally. I mean, I think, he's a new coach. I mean, again, he was coached by Belichick last year. New coach, new system. Give it a shot. I mean, just toss him in there. I mean, he can get experience with playing time. I mean, he had 13 starts as a rookie. Eastern Michigan, he had 31 career starts. I mean, I don't see why he couldn't
experience there at the position. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't see why he can't. I don't see why he can't get experience as a sophomore in the NFL just by osmosis.
Okay. So what we need is we have to hope for health, relative health, and perhaps extra versatility on the line and depth.
Yes,
Gotta have
definitely
depth.
depth.
Yes. Gotta have
Definitely
depth.
depth.
Yeah.
Definitely depth, and I think that someone like I mentioned before, Caden Wallace, helps with that. That we just drafted him. We drafted him and the other O-line. I'm blanking on his name, but those two young
Robinson
players. Yeah, Robinson.
Okay.
Yeah, Layden Robinson.
Layden Robinson. Yeah, definitely those two they had a lot of positives in their draft report coming out of it, and I feel like that those two that it can be like the start to getting more depth on our O-line, which is definitely like something that the Patriots really needed.
Okay. I have a question actually.
Shoot.
So, I'm wondering how big is this season for Scott Peters? How important is it?
I think anybody that's going to be in their first year is going to be given the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
That's my thought. Now, after year two, if there isn't significant forward progress being made, then you can start thinking about, shuffling the card deck, so to speak. But
sure.
I think, there's got to be at minimum a full season.
Yes.
And then you have to take into consideration what happened during the year.
Yeah.
Was the offensive line decimated by injury, or was there growth? Was there improvement? How did the draft picks look? Who got coached up? Who didn't get coached at all?
Cole Strange.
Thank you,
Yes.
Strange. I keep wanting to call him something else. Cole Strange. Does he work his way back into the lineup?
Yeah.
From
I
his injury.
saw somewhere that he's not guaranteed a spot back on the team once he's fully healed.
Right.
And I
That's
think
true.
in the NFL, your job's not guaranteed. I mean, if someone's going to do better,
you gotta figure out a way to get healthy. You
Absolutely.
can't play if you're hurt. So
Absolutely.
you got to get healthy.
Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap up this portion of the program, how many wins this year?
I honestly think more than 5. I don't know what coach.
So
over
you're
there
going
is
to say
talking about.
over 5?
I say over 5.
Over 5?
I don't know, Coach. I think Coach over here said something about 6 earlier before, and I don't know what he's talking about. I'll be honest. I think we're gonna get over 5. I mean, new system, new everything. I mean,
Is he talking to you, Noah?
No.
I'm talking.
okay.
I'm talking about Nick. Wherever
Nick.
Nick is. Yeah,
okay.
Coach
All
K.
right.
Coach K.
Whoever
Yeah.
Coach
Coach
is.
K.
But yeah.
All right.
Okay.
If you know, you know.
Coach K.
All right. I'm just wondering. All right. What do you think, Eric?
I think that definitely with the new revamped offense, you have the full defense coming back, Gonzalez coming back from injury, Judon, many others. I feel like we're going to be in that. This could be a bit of a stretch. I feel like we'll be in that 8 to 10 win range.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I'm very confident.
You're extraordinarily optimistic.
I'm very optimistic.
Let me check and see if his nose is cold. Okay, good. All right, very good. Ava, what do you think? Wins, losses? What do you think?
From what I was told, the defensive line is still coming back. All of them in the same from last
Looks
year.
like it. Mm-hmm.
So they should be strong. The chemistry should be good between all of them. with the new offensive line, I don't know. I mean, I'm probably gonna guess in the middle, around neutral.
So like
5.
like 8 maybe 7.
Yeah, maybe 8, 7.
6, 7, 8, yeah.
Something like that.
I think a lot of people would settle for 7 or 8
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, especially with last season too.
Yeah, I mean 8 and 9 is going to actually if you've won 8 games, you would be in the playoff mix through December.
Yeah. Actually, I saw there was like an NFL report or something, and they projected the Patriots to win 3 games this whole season.
Yeah, the Patriots.
That's why the Patriots were the odds-on favorite for the number 1 draft
The
pick. in
Patriots, I saw, are the underdogs in every single game this season. No matter the team, they were not favored to win a single game.
Correct.
Which I think is a bit outrageous in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Noah, what do you think? Wins, losses? What do you think?
I think you're keeping the defense, which will help a lot with like chemistry, like Ava said. So I mean, it really comes down to the offense. You know, the whole new quarterback situation, which I think will go way better than last year.
Mm-hmm.
The O-line, how they start the season without Cole Strange. I'm thinking a solid 9-8 record.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Well, 9 and 8. There'd be a lot of people that would be, you know, praising you, fella. So I'm not sure I can go that route, but that would be an interesting season, and 9 and 8 would certainly have them.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, John, what do you think?
In my honest opinion, I think it's a success if you do better than you did last year. So, this team managed 4 wins a year ago. I'm going to say 6. And I haven't really taken a good hard look at the schedule yet. I know it's going to be extraordinarily difficult. Yes. It's strange when you have, one of the worst records in the league to come back the next year with the second or third toughest schedule in the league. But the problem is that you're not able to kind of patch your schedule full of patsies because you have a divisional rotation in terms of the schedule that the NFL predetermines. I've asked people to ask me, how come the Patriots, were terrible last year? They got to play a tough schedule again because that's out of their control. That's set by Park Avenue in New York. So it's unfortunate, but that's the way that it kind of fell out because of the rotation. So
we're also in like a really tough division as well.
Well, listen,
That's true.
Yeah.
I think all 3 of the teams in the division, I think Buffalo probably drops back to the pack a little bit. I think Miami right now, to me, I think the Dolphins are the favorites
Not New York?
in the AFC East. No, I don't like the Jets, and the reason that I don't like the Jets is, Aaron Rodgers is going to show me he can stay healthy.
Yeah, especially with playing 4 snaps last year.
That's what I mean. And when I see it, I may believe it. I just don't know if that's even going to be possible. So right now I've got Miami, Buffalo, Jets, Patriots in the AFC East. But I think the Patriots can win 2 or 3 games within the division.
I also want to mention one quick thing before we have to head out. It was a stat last year that the Patriots held more teams to under 10 points than any other team in the league.
Correct.
On defense.
Correct.
And the reason they had such that bad of a record is mainly the offense with the horrible O-line.
Weren't we last in the league for points per game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was for the offense, but the defense was first in the league for allowing under 10, keeping teams under 10 points, which I feel like now with their revamped offense is why I said that 8 to 10 win range.
All right, good enough, guys. Way to go.
Thank you.
Bridgestone is the official tire of the New England Patriots and proud to partner with Sullivan Tire, New England's headquarters for quality Bridgestone tires. Visit sullivantire.com to find a location near you.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like my plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get my plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get my plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no.
Replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like my plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get my plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get my plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like my plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get my plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get my plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
This is Patriots Playbook.
The legend.
Welcome back inside the playbook. We're rounding third, heading for home here. We've got four major subjects that we've been talking about here on day one of Patriots training camp here at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. And these seem to be the overwhelming areas of concern for this team as we head into the 24-25 season. We've talked about the quarterback battle. We've talked wide receiver. We've gone into the nuances of the offensive line and whether or not there's enough talent really and versatility perhaps to be able to protect guys like Jacoby Brissett and Drake May. But now we're going to flip it to the other side of the ball for the final question of the day, because let's face it, the strong point for the New England Patriots for this season has to be on the defensive side of the ball. You're talking about an overall top 5 to top 10 ranked defense even a year ago when the team struggled for wins out on the field. So if this team is to sort of feign competitiveness at the start of this season, the defense is clearly going to have to carry them. And I say that because I know these guys are going to try to back that up or perhaps even dispute that. So as we wrap up with our Dean College Sports Broadcasting student today, Ben Gilman are you a senior, Ben?
I am. I'm going to be a senior next year at Needham High School.
Needham. All right, so we got a local here. Patriots fan?
Yes.
Okay, I kind of thought so. Charlie Hazen.
Yes.
Charlie, you're an out-of-towner, aren't you?
Yes, I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
That's what I thought. So you won the award for longest distance coming into New England, right?
I definitely did, yeah.
Okay. What's your overall impression? Is this your first time in New England?
Yeah, it actually is my first time here.
What do you think? You haven't seen much, though.
Not much, but it's interesting.
Do you even know what an ocean looks like?
I did go to the ocean on Saturday before I went here. Yes.
Good for you. Yeah. What'd you think?
It was the wave. There was no waves.
Oh, no waves, really?
It's like, why do I have to pay for beaches?
Yeah, exactly. Wow, big. Okay, great, Charlie. We're glad to have you, buddy.
Thank
All right,
you.
Chris Rosner. Should I say Chris or Christopher?
You say Christopher.
Christopher. You prefer the longer version?
It's fine on the show, yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
Christopher. Christopher, where is your hometown and what year are you?
I'm going to my senior year.
Yep.
I attend West Milford High School, and I'm sadly not a Patriots fan.
That's all
I am
right.
a New York Giants fan. Big Blue.
That's two right now. That's two Giants fans. Okay, so I have to make a note. I got 2 guys that get Fs this week. Okay, good. I'm all set. And Connor Vidal. Connor's wearing the West Virginia swag. So
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate that, though. And Connor, you are from where and what year?
I'm from Dartmouth, Mass., and I'm a senior at Bishop Stang High School. Go Spartans.
Okay, there you go. And you're from Dartmouth?
Yep.
And you're a Patriots fan?
Nope, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, baby.
Oh, my God. Holy cow. Yeah, wow. See, now Matt's, he's agreeing with you. When were you a Buffalo fan?
I'm telling him, just move that mic around. Get it in front of your face.
Okay.
All right. My bad.
Right. Yeah, get the mic in front of your face so we don't have to look at it. Okay, good. Why Buffalo? How did you become a Buffalo fan living around here?
I have the same birthday as Josh Allen, and I like how the fans are crazy.
Okay, so you're sort of a pseudo member of the Bills Mafia?
Yeah, and a little bit of a bandwagon, but...
Okay, well, that's all right. That's okay. That's how people, Patriots fans got into the Patriot, fandom because of the bandwagon, because of the success over the number of years. So I understand how that works. Guys, we're going to start it, though, talking about some defense to begin with, because can we agree that this is the strong suit for this edition of the Patriot football team, that defense is really what they have to kind of hang their hat on?
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Tell me, though, what stands out about this team defensively, and what did you see from the defenders in really a kind of loosely based practice today as we opened up training camp? What did you see?
They have some young pass rushers that just like to get it done, and I feel like Matt Judon being older, he definitely like provides good leadership to the younger guys that are going to run this league in the next like 5-10 years.
Okay. What else?
You know, to kind of switch the point here, I feel like they shouldn't sign him just for the reason is he's getting old, and I feel like he can easily hurt the team with that new contract that it's using cap space on a player that's going to be 32, 33, 34, so on.
Mm-hmm.
And the Patriots can use that money on a different player that is younger and would be with the Patriots longer. And I just think he is a good leader and everything for the team, but being 32, I feel like would be a terrible investment since he can easily get hurt again since he's so old.
We should update everybody because one of the things that we wanted to talk about today is, do the Patriots need, and does the defense in particular need Matt Judon? Not only because a lot of people feel like he's the best athlete on that side of the ball, but because he's a veteran leader. He does have 1 year left on his current contract. But it's for little money because he got paid more last year. And, of course, last year he spent, majority of the year on the sideline because he was injured. Yeah. He did tell the media before the session, before practice started today, that he's willing to play for what he's got this year, although he feels he's worth more. That tells me, just from listening and between the lines here, that tells me that negotiations for an augmented deal are taking place. And so I think he feels like as long as progress is being made toward him getting closer to what he feels he's worth, he's going to play ball. And I think that's a positive for this New England team. Now, Charlie, I have to admit, I'm not in total disagreement with your thought process because of the age and the youth and everything they're doing here. But because the Patriots' new regime, the new staff, Elliott Wolf, Coach Mayo, everybody on this side of the ball, right? Because of what they've done with some of the veterans left over from the Belichick regime and re-signing them to create a base, I think that, bringing Judon back is imperative because he's looked up to in that locker room by so many players. And so if you're re-signing some and you're not re-signing Judon when he has that 1 year left on his deal, then what kind of a signal, what kind of a message are you sending to some of those other guys? To me, it makes it almost an eggshell type of situation. You want guys playing free and easy and not having to worry about the other stuff. You want them going out there doing what they do best. Now, age-wise, I couldn't agree more. I think you're spot on that. I think it's time you get to be 32. You don't need to be paying somebody, $80 jillion or whatever they're going to pay the guy. I think you have to make sure that you're investing in the younger players that can play the position, go side to side, whatever it may be, cover ground, because we know on the defensive side of the ball, in this day and age, you'd better have some speed, you'd better have some fluidity, and your linebackers in particular had better know how to cover backs coming out of the backfield, because if you don't, you're going to get beat on wheel routes left and right, and you're going to be just grasping at straws. So you got to have speed, you got to have versatility. I mean, we love guys like Juwan Bentley, the thumper at middle linebacker, but guys like that are rare now in the league. And so it's good to see him develop a little bit. But Judon being sort of first of all, he's not a traditional linebacker. We know that he's what's the word I'm looking for? He's a three down lineman, or that kind of thing. He's in a point stance where he'll line up on defensive end, so he won't necessarily be in the linebacking core. He'll line up defensive end. He'll rush the quarterback. He'll get after him. If he can put pressure on the quarterback, he's valuable. Mm-hmm. If he can't get pressure on the quarterback, I would say, all right, then you probably got to make your move. So here's my prediction. All right, see if you like this, Charlie. Starts out, he'll play, all right?
Yes.
But if he doesn't bring in numbers and he doesn't effectively affect this team, I think you'll see them move in younger players, and he's going to move off into the limelight and maybe even, be some kind of a trade deal. And my guess is they'll probably fill his contract with incentives. And if they fill a contract with incentives and he can't possibly make those incentives, you'll probably see him be willing to move back because he'll want to keep himself healthy for his next contract. What do you think?
I do want to add to that is I noticed that last year he did get a boost in his contract, like an extra pay, and now coming to this season, he's wanting more. So I'm just curious on your point here. Is he really looking for the money, or is he just here?
I don't know that he's looking for the money. He doesn't. I mean, look, he's a flamboyant guy. You know, he's outspoken, but he is looked up to in that locker room. I don't think he's one of those guys that basically says, "Hey, show me the money first." I don't think he is.
No, 100%. Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, you know, I think at first I thought he might be. I know he brought that kind of a street rep, you know, when he came from the Ravens. But I got to tell you, after listening to him talk, seeing his interactivity with his teammates, what he said in the media, I'm not sure. I think this guy truly wants to win. And I think he would like to build something back here in New England, as all these guys would, because, everybody knows, New England, had the dynastic thing going for 20 years, and I think a lot of these guys would like to be a part of the second wave of that and try to build it back to the way it was. And I think Judon is one of those guys that could appreciate that. Now, having said that, he and Bill Belichick had a mutual admiration thing going.
Yes.
Okay? Coach Belichick is no longer here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering what his incentive might be, especially if he doesn't perform up to the expectations that we all have for him once the season starts, and where that leaves this team. Does the defense take a step back? This is where I can see why some people predict this team to only get 3 or 4 wins this year, because if the defense takes a step back, then this team is going to really struggle.
Yeah, and I do agree with you. I think that New England it's a very special place for sports. New England has extremely loyal fans, and just today, actually, after the first training day, this reporter by the name of Dakota Randall, he got a chance to interview Matt, and Matt says that if it were me and if everything goes well, he'd love to stay in Boston forever. He really wants to be a part of that second dynasty, and he doesn't want to move again. And he mentioned that he doesn't want to be traded either.
Good. So, see, that's positive. Yeah, Dakota Randall's with Nesson.com. So,
yes.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like he's an absolute team guy. Like, as he's saying, like, we're at training camp, and we see him run out, and he's just playing catch with the kids. He wants to be here. Like, he loves New England. He's a all-around Patriots guy. I feel like he represents the Patriots team absolutely in a beautiful way.
Okay.
Add on to that, back to what Charlie was saying, for the age-wise, there's negative and positivity about that. Definitely with the new defensive coordinator that just came in, DeMarcus Covington, who just, was the coordinator down in Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like, for that young experience for him, because he's been a, linebacker for the Patriots before.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's like having that veteran guy who's been there, done that, and especially with all these young guys. You definitely want to keep this team as defensive possible as you can, because, to be honest, last year when I watched games, their defense kept them in the games. The offense wasn't providing. I remember one game, the Chargers, and they got 0 points, and the defense allowed 6 points. So it's something like that where, Judon leaving or Judon not being signed here could affect just like the rookies, because he's a big leader. He's the main guy in the locker room. Patriot fans want him. I saw it today. Hundreds of Judon shirts. People love him. He's a big fan favorite.
He is a fan favorite. The fans seem to want him to still be here. I just, the question that I asked you guys originally, I think when we started all this, though, is does this defense need, let's put a capital N on that word need, does it need Matt Judon? Why or why not?
So what Matt Judon does, he changes the game. He can shake up the other team's game plans, and if he's still a Patriot, which is what the Patriots need after that below average season last year.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely some key things that the Patriots need Matthew Judon, but in my idea, I feel like there's going to be better younger players out there that they should start developing him, even though Matthew Judon, he is definitely a good leader in the locker room, showing the younger people how to do everything.
So you don't think they need him with a capital N?
I don't exactly think they need him. He's definitely a good aspect to the Patriots defense, just saying how good he did with his 2022 season with 15.5 sacks and a lot of quarterback rushes. I think he adds a lot to the team, but very close here. It's going to be his retirement. He's not going to be at his prime anymore.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, on the talking about in 2022, for example, during Week 5, the Patriots were playing the Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions got 0 points. Patriots got 29 points, and Matt had 2 sacks himself. That he was the leader of the defense that game, and he was a mentor to everybody on the defense. And I think that it is valuable, even though he is getting older and he's not going to run as fast. But having him to tell these young players what to do, if he steps down and if we have nobody, which young player are we going to grab? Are we going to say, okay, you're now going to be the mentor?
Yeah.
He needs to teach other people. And then once he finally goes, people are going to step up into his position.
So you think they need him?
I do think that they need him.
All right. So we have one nay, one yay.
Yeah.
And I'm really kind of in the nay category, although I would like him to be here. But if I'm really going to answer my own question, need, I no.
Sure.
Okay. What do you think? Connor, you want to go?
So I feel like, I'm just going to be honest, the Patriots have not been as good as they were in the past years. Even though their defense is pretty solid, I feel like Matt Judon is a key contributor on that team. He gets the sacks. He gets the boys going. He gives them what they want. And I just feel like without him, it's just going to be a bunch of young guys that don't have enough mentor. And I feel like he just gives them that energy. He gets them going. He's just that guy.
Okay.
Christopher? Sorry to interrupt. So speaking of your second
good.
wave of the dynasty, so with him being gone, if, for example, because I'm on the need side for sure with him, I mean, he has still a lot of talent. I mean, he still had 15.5 sacks the year before last year. So he definitely was, productive. And for me, a lot of things that, he said in his tweets or what he said out loud was, even though he's fine with playing with it, he thinks it's not a fair value, which I understand for sure. I mean, there's guys, because I'm a Giants fan, Brian Burns got signed to a big contract for $151 million. Yeah. And that's a guy who was, maybe better or maybe as good as Judon. So as he sees that, because he also spoke about how it's tough not to walk around, every day in training camp and see all these guys get paid big money. And then that you deserve it. But everyone's going to exclude you because your age and your injuries. And he's been a consistently healthy guy most of his career. I mean, he's played 17 games. I mean, he had 2 games out in 2020 because of the COVID. But, I mean, last year was one stint, so we don't know. But for me, definitely, with the new defensive coordinator, with everyone being so young, they need someone else to stand up and be a veteran in that locker room. So, for me, yeah.
And let me quantify need because, there are more things than just football talent that are needed on a roster. And it's those intangibles that the Patriots have taken pride in over a number of years when they've had leaders like Willie McGinnis and Teddy Bruschi and Vince Wilfork and so many that have come down the pike. And they're all needed. But when you get a little bit longer in the tooth, you get a little bit older, the need changes. And so can you adjust to what the need of the team is? And that's really kind of where we are. Those players, for the most part, did adjust because they were able to kind of keep up with their abilities on the field. The Patriots needed it. I don't think it's as much today because there is so much versatility in the game. So many different guys can do so many different things. I think that versatility certainly can make you deeper, but it can also make guys expendable if you can't do the job that you're signed to do.
Yeah.
Matt Judon is signed to rush the passer. If he can't rush the passer, the need dries up. Now, that's on a football sense. The need for leadership, the need for veteran mentorship still exists and will probably always exist. That kind of then situation would fall to a guy like Jacoby Brissett. It would probably fall to the head coach, Gerard Mayo. It would fall to the veteran people who have been around the game for a number of years, more so than the players on the field. I feel like the Patriots initially wanted to, and my guess is that they're doing this, bring him back with an augmented deal, play on the last year, give him some, you can add some incentives to the deal where he can still play on it and it won't, hurt your overall cap. They've still got a little bit of money to play with. I think they're like 9th in money spent in the NFL after, this offseason, which there still gives them a little bit of breathing room. And I think they'll give him every opportunity to reach those incentives. But if he doesn't get close, then the need will dwindle.
So to add to you on that with the cap space, I was seeing that the Patriots do have the second most cap space in the NFL.
Yep.
With I think around $53 million
right now.
So, if the Patriots really wanted to sign Matt Judon again, I feel like they would have already done it. They're trying to see probably during this training camp, is he really going? Do we really still need him?
That he said the right things today, then, didn't he?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
And I think that the Patriots are also in this rebuild state. A whole nother topic. You know, we have all these young people, and we're building them up to be as good as Matt one day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to.
have to.
And that's part of the reason. I mean, that does add to some of the need, because if you're signing these other veteran players in the offseason, well, why not Judon? Well, but Judon's in a little bit of a different category. Number one, he's older. Number two, he had a heavier contract. Number three, he's coming off an injury that knocked him out for much of the year.
Yeah.
And so, to me, if I'm looking at it strictly from a money sense, I'd go to Matt and I'd say, look, we want you here. We want you to be a part of this. But we, paid you a lot of money last year, and you lasted, 3-4 games. So, can you meet us halfway on some of this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll try to give you enough to where you can earn the money. And then, when the offseason rolls around, hopefully you've built yourself up another resume where you can go out and get another contract. And if not, hey, we're still here and we'll still be an option. And I think that's really the way to play it. It seems to me, at least from his initial comments today, that he's willing to play ball, and I think that is a huge positive step for the New England Patriots. Not just the defense, but this team overall.
Yeah.
If he's not going to hold out, because I was scared to death. Well, not literally, but you know what I mean. I was concerned that he wouldn't show at all today. And then, of course, I heard last night that he was coming in. So I know you guys will get a chance to probably see him a little bit on the field today, which you did. What were your impressions of what you saw on defense?
I feel like he could have gotten a lot more in on defense. I did like what I saw, but I just feel like he didn't play as much as I expected him to play.
Okay. Christopher?
I mean, for me, same thing as, what Connor said. I mean, the reps were lacking. I saw him a lot of times on the side. For me, he definitely did see some good things. I mean, definitely over by, second field I was at. I saw him in the linebacker group and just trying to teach him stuff. And he definitely looked really healthy.
So you did see some, sort of coach speak out there from him.
Yeah, and for sure. And I saw some friendlyship. And obviously when he walked up, and came onto the field, hang out with the fans, and, obviously waved at a couple of fans that were screaming his name. And he's a good guy, because, he's been, for all his life, he grew up with 9 brothers and sisters, and he's known how to team works. So for him, I'm not so concerned about him. I'm more concerned about the Patriots, because, like Charlie said, why wouldn't they pay him now? Because they have all this cap space.
Yeah.
Which another thing to add on is they pay these guys on offense to do their job.
Okay.
So far, they haven't showed up. Like, there's a stat of them being the worst in the league offensively, and defensively they're carrying the load. They're making stops on these big time offensive teams. You saw last year. So for me, they need Judon for that reason. Also, he's just a good presence to the team. So definitely, if they're gonna sign him, they're gonna sign him now.
So you would be for the sign in terms of the need overall?
Yes.
Yeah.
Connor, what about you?
Yeah, I would want to sign him again. I just feel like now, especially after what we saw at training camp, he's becoming more of a mentor than a star player, which is absolutely what the Patriots need. Is they have a very young defense.
Yeah. Ben?
This was my very first time actually at a NFL training camp, and it was such an exciting place to be, and it was an amazing opportunity. When I first got there, I saw Matt playing with the fans. I saw him connecting. He has this chemistry with his teammates and with all of his fans. People were smiling, and on the field, he was great. We were all watching together as a group, and I think that even though they are in this rebuild state, having a mentor for these young up-and-coming players is very important. And like you said, I agree with the incentives where, hey, you can play, but you have to reach these goals to get your money. And I think that that's very important for him, because he can stay. He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to be traded. However, he still needs to play well and still needs to reach these goals.
Charlie, what were your observations today?
Oh, so what I saw today, I saw him on the left field. He was getting after the quarterback, definitely, but I barely got to see him play. I didn't see much out of him. Others say he did, but I'm not really sure. I could have saw it wrong, but I definitely think right now the Patriots are looking at him as kind of in the backspace because he wants to get paid. That's obvious. But I just think the Patriots are kind of looking past him. I feel like the Patriots are trying to find that new guy and stuff like that.
Yeah, all right. Can't disagree with that. Guys, good job.
Thank you.
Way to roll. All right, you got it. Hey, Bud Light is a proud sponsor of Patriots Playbook. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the New England Patriots. All right, our thanks to my Dean College Sports Broadcasting class. I'm going to name them all one last time here. All right, we're going to go right through the list here. Adelina Aubin, Patrick Dacey, Eric Darcy, Dawson DeBari, Nick Gelinas, Benjamin Gilman, Jack Grosick, Charlie Hazen, Noah Heyer, Noah Laspina, Mark Monfreda, Daniel Piasecki, Ava Powell, Christopher Rosner, Chase Stevens, Connor Vidal. Okay, you guys did a good job.
Thank
Okay?
you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Go Bills.
I'm not letting you sleep on that one.
Brandon,
Cut his mic.
Hello to my whole family watching out there too. My mom.
Yeah,
Dad.
any shout-outs?
Yeah,
I like to shout out my
Dad,
friends.
George Kittle, I love you.
Love Josh Allen.
Also,
George Kittle.
everybody at the Needham channel, Mike, Kristen, Ashley, Mark.
Shout out to
all right.
Shout out to Alex
And
Coffin,
everybody at Wellesley Theater
Fonseca.
Project too.
Yeah, all right.
And
Way
no
to
more
go.
Shout out
Brock
to the Bishop
Purdy hate.
Stank Spartans
That's
football
what
team.
I love
Okay,
Brock
now
Purdy.
we pissed off everybody else in the class because they didn't get to do shout-outs. So, okay, see, Nick is back there waving on the other side of the glass.
Coach
all
K.
Coach K.
Thanks to the Marine, Matt Morrell, for getting this all done as well. Our August edition, August 28th officially. August 28th, so you want to tune in then. We may do a special one before the Washington game on the 21st, but stay tuned to social media for that one. But we know we'll be with you back again on the 28th at the very latest. One more to go, man, and then it's the regular season. Holy crap, it's here. Until next time.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.